let's talk about shmups. Or actually, let's talk about STGs, because that's what they actually are. Just like you have FPS, which is first person shooter, you have RPG, which is a role playing game, and you have STG, which is a shooting game. But most people call them shmups or vertical or side scrolling shooters. We're going to stick with STG. But when it comes to STGs, pretty much most systems and stuff have some STGs. The only ones that I can think of really are the Nintendo 64 and some obscure consoles like Virtual Boy, CDI, and stuff like that. So if you're a 64 fan, you're kind of out of luck. I think they have one STG, and it's like a gun head done in 3D, and it's, some people say it's good, but I looked at it and it's just anyway. So I wanted to make a little two-part video, and in the first part I want to go over, STG stuff, and then hardware, and then second video I want to go over games. So hardware picks, game picks, and I guess let's just jump right into it. So my number 5 pick, because I happen to have 5 consoles here, my 5 pick would be the PS3. And this one actually doesn't have a whole lot of STGs for it, but the ones that it does have are excellent. And the upside to the PS3 is it's not region locked. So if you buy import games, they will work unless the developer went out of their way to region lock the disc. So not a lot of games, but the ones that you can find are going to work on your North American PS3. And in addition to that, you can make a Japanese PSN account and you can download some of their, they have some old PS1 STGs and some stuff like that you can download on your system. But for this, I would recommend the kind of stick I would recommend. I would recommend a PS2 stick like this one with an adapter, or just the Hori V3, which is just your standard, Hori controller for this one. They have a whole bunch. They have tons of arcade sticks for this, but that would be my pick. So number 5 would be PS3. See, number 4. There might be some people kind of mad about this being lower on my list, I guess you could say, but it's the Dreamcast. And the Dreamcast has a lot of STGs. Some of them are awesome, and some of them are just not awesome. But just for the amount of STGs that's on this system, I'd say this is a good system. And Dreamcasts are really easy to pick up on like Craigslist or eBay. You're looking at like between $30 and $50. They're cheap. So get yourself a Dreamcast. And also, if you get one that was made at a certain date, I'm not going to tell you what date, but I'm sure you can Google it. But they play backup CDs or games on CDR. So again, Dreamcast. The Dreamcast, Sega didn't make a first-party arcade stick for the Dreamcast, but they licensed it out to Agitech or Agetech, however you want to say it. And it's known as the Green Goblin because it comes with these lime green buttons and ball top. And to be honest, the quality of the stick is really good just how it is. It's got some heft to it. It's not going to slide around in your lap too much. But another upside to this stick is that it's moddable with minimal effort. So you can go ahead and put some real arcade parts in it, like the Sono JLF and the OBSF 30s. So this would be my stick for this system. And my third pick for STG hardware is going to be the Sega Saturn. Sega did in fact make a first party stick for this, but I do not have that. But it's a little bit harder to find and more expensive. But I do have this right here, which is also Hori, and it also can be modded, but this one takes a lot more effort to mod. Um, the thing is with the Sega Saturn is it has a great STG library, but the thing is none of them came to the States except for Galactic Attack, which is also known as Later Section, also known as Gunlock. They have a different name for that game for every region. It's kind of weird. But your options for this is to either buy yourself a black North American Saturn and get yourself either a Game Shark or Action Replay, and that will go in the cartridge slot in the back, and it'll let you play import games. Or your second option would be to just buy a Japanese Saturn. In either case, you're looking at $100 probably. So it's not one of the cheaper STG consoles you could find. So if you're wanting to buy a Saturn just for STGs, you might want to look at another system before this one. Because also being the games that are all import, you're looking at, they're a little bit on the pricey side as well. But like I said, STG library is great. The games that are on it are great. So this is going to be my third pick for a console for STGs. I'll tell you about those games in a minute. Oh, my second pick. This is just like the it's just like the Sega Saturn version, but it's a PlayStation 1 stick. But this is going to be my second pick for playing STGs on. And you can use a PS1 stick or a PS2 stick. But the games that are on the STGs that are on a PS2 are great. Cave, which is a well-known STG developer, Cave put out quite a few really good games for it. And you can mod these with free McBoot and get yourself a hard drive. That's one way to go about it. Or, because they're import games only. There are some North American games like Gradius and R-Type. Like, you're not going to be stuck out, still feed. But the way to go really is to either mod a North American PS2 or to buy an import PS2. And either way, it's one of the cheaper solutions, and there's a lot of good games for it. The stick, I recommend getting the A-Trap, and they run a little bit more, but I'll go over why that's worth it here in a minute. Promise. But so yeah, second to top pick, definitely a PS2. Playing some STG goodness. And my top pick, there might be some people that are not even a little bit surprised by this, but top pick is going to be the 360. There's a number of sticks for the 362. This is the VX, and just like I was saying with the PS3, they have a V3, and it's basically an identical stick with gray and black buttons instead of the colorful buttons. But the 360 just has a ton of Cave ports, and again, Cave is a well-known developer. But in addition to that, you know, on the Xbox Arcade, you can download a bunch of older games too that are either hard to find or really expensive. Radiant Silvergun would be one of those. That's a Sega Saturn game that, you know, $150, $200 for that game, but you can get it for $5 on the little e-store or whatever. There's just a lot of good STGs for this console. So, and of course, you know, some of the games are at HD and they have online leaderboards. You're not going to find online leaderboards with the Sega Saturn or a PS2. So yeah, this is going to be my top pick for an STG console if you're getting into STGs. So, about the sticks. Every one of these consoles has a stick, or you can find a stick for it. But my pick is going to be, for any of these consoles, is going to be this PS2 A-Trap. And you're looking at spending a good little bit more money for this stick, because let me tell you, this thing, you can club someone in the head with this thing and do some damage. It's heavy, it doesn't slide around, it uses the Sanwa parts, and you need no modification to put new parts in it or genuine arcade parts. You have your micro switch, joystick, your OBSFs. It's the perfect stick. Now, beyond that, The reason I say PS2 is because for PS2, since PS2 is just such a well-known console and just everyone loves that PS2 controller, I guess, there are converters for PS2 to pretty much anything. So here's a PS2 to Dreamcast, PS2 to PS3, PS2 to Xbox 360, PS2 to Sega Saturn. So instead of buying an expensive arcade stick for each one of your consoles, if you get multiple consoles or you already have multiple consoles, you just spend a little bit extra for a really good quality stick that if anything breaks on it, you can easily replace it. It's just got screws on the back. Undo the screws, pop in a new stick or button. You spend a little bit extra money on this good stick and then buy yourself converters for whatever you need. Because these range like, this is like, PS2 to PS3 is like $3. 360 is like 10. These Sega Saturn and Dreamcast ones are more like 15 or 20. But even so, all those combined don't equal up to 2 of these sticks over here, or this stick and another stick, or whatever. It's just this is the best option, I think. So, and this is a genuine A-trap, but you can find a Tekken version. It has, like you would imagine, it has Tekken art, has like Jin or something on the front. And you can get those for like 25 to 50 as opposed to 150, 250 for the genuine A-trap. And it is still an A-trap. It's the same case, and it has the same metal plate in the top and in the back, but it just has the Tekken art. And sorry to you Tekken fans, but the art is terrible. And there's a PCB board behind the buttons. You can't just drop in and out. So you need a little bit of modification, but you're looking at saving $100+ if you can pick out the Tekken A-trap. But yeah, so that's my pick for all the hardware for playing some STGs, and I'll go over there and I'll gather up a couple games, and I'll come back and I'll tell you some of my top picks for games for each one of these systems.